Good evening, folks. Welcome again. My name is Albert Nigrin. I'm the Executive Director and the Curator of the New Jersey Film Festival based at Rutgers University. Excuse me. And we are in the process of showing films as part of our New Jersey Film Festival this fall. We have 50 films that are playing from September 3rd through November 4th. And we have a series of interviews with local filmmakers who have films that are finalists in our competition. And today we have Gladys Bensimon, who's the director of Crossing Our Borders, a very important documentary about Latin American dictators. And we're going to be talking with her for a little bit. Welcome, Gladys.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me here.
It's great to have you. Tell us a little bit about how you got involved in this project.
Well, you know, in 2007, I went to Venezuela, and at that time, the oil barrel was selling from $40 to $110 a barrel. So the increase of revenues for the country was amazing. They estimated that $700 billion had entered the country. When I arrived to Venezuela, there wasn't any milk, there wasn't any coffee. Nothing. The crime rate was rampant. Like 16,000 people have died a year. The kidnapping have increased like by 400%. It was ridiculous. And the Chavez government wasn't doing anything to stop it or to increase the production, the situation of the country. He had taken over PDVSA, which was a national oil company. So the reason he took over a national company like the PDVSA is because all the revenues of the country come from PDVSA. So that was his reason. But he destroyed PDVSA. He fired 23,000 employees and created a massive chaos in the country.
Yeah, I noticed when watching the documentary, there's so much information about this Chavez government that I did not know about, and how ruthless their government is, and on the face of revolution is helping the poor people. He hasn't done anything for the poor people. In fact, he's taken all the money for himself and has instituted this criminal kind of backbone to the country that was not there when I visited it in the 1980s. It was not in the same situation. There was still crime in Venezuela, but now it seems like it's gone crazy.
Out of control, completely.
Tell us a little bit more. The focus is not exclusively on Venezuela. I mean, it is, but there are other countries and other dictators that are referenced in your film.
Yes. Well, one of the things that people have to understand in this country, that immigration is caused, particularly from Latin America, it's caused by bad governments, by dictators, by revolutions and populist leaders. So everything has to do with that. So we talk here about a lot of immigration, but we don't ever talk about the causes of immigration. So what I try to do is an analysis, historic analysis of these messianic leaders and these revolutions. We have Mexico, which I didn't get too deep into Mexico. That would have been a documentary in itself. They had 70 years of one-party system controlling, which leads you to tremendous corruption and impunity. So we have we have Fidel Castro, 50 years in power. 1.5 million people left the country, killed thousands, and he still passed the kingdom. He passed it to his brother. So that shows these messianic leaders. You have Perón and his wife Evita. You had Somoza in Nicaragua, 20 years in power. You have Trujillo. So it has been a legacy of dictators, and their objective has been to stay in power indefinite.
Yeah. You also have a famous person that serves as your narrator. Tell us a little bit about her.
Well, Maria Conchita Alonso, a friend of mine from Venezuela Awareness Foundation, is an organization that deals with political prisoners in Venezuela. She put me in touch with Maria Conchita Alonso, who happens to be an activist with a political prisoner in Venezuela. So when she heard about the project, she got very excited. So she did the narration for the project, which was fantastic. She did it in English and Spanish. Which was a great help, because this was a very hard project to do. It's a political documentary, and also I'm talking about dictators, I'm talking about Fidel Castro, and there is certain elite in this country that still support Fidel Castro, sadly, which it doesn't make sense, because if you believe in freedom, and if you're liberal-minded, you believe that you have the right to speak, freedom of speech. Hugo Chavez have taken most of the media. Most of the media. We only have one TV station that is free. And it's not even free right now. He controls 45% right now of global vision.
All the media, yeah.
So when you start, alienating people and controlling the media, when freedom of speech is stopped, then democracy stops. You don't have anything to say.
Yeah, the fact that revolution, under the guise of revolution, you have fascism, where these people take over lives. If you say anything against the government, you may never be seen again.
Exactly.
It's a very scary thing. I think we learned quite a bit from watching your documentary. Now, if folks want to see this wonderful film, it's going to be playing with another film that focuses on South America, although it's quite different film. It's called The Valley of Dawn by a British filmmaker named Adrienne Grierson. She's going to be there to introduce the film, as will Gladys to introduce her film, Crossing Our Borders, on Sunday, September 26th at 7 p.m. in our state-of-the-art new facility, Voorhees Hall, room 105, on the College Avenue campus of Rutgers University, a 5-minute walk from the New Brunswick train station, right part of the main campus in New Brunswick. The admission is $10 for the general public and will begin promptly at 7 p.m. And again, you get a chance to hobnob with the directors, and it's a wonderful opportunity for you to learn much, much more about the very dangerous world of dictatorships in South America. I want to thank Gladys for coming.
Thank you so much. And if anybody wants any information about future events that we're putting together, they could go to www.crossingoutrborders.com, and then we have a list of events. And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming, Gladys.
Okay.